Hi everyone, it's Carrie with My Friends Call Me Martha, and yes, I got that nickname after Martha Stewart because I love to be in my kitchen or in my craft room crafting. So I am here today. I know it's been over a week. I posted a video I think on a Thursday, and that night I started to feel sick, went to bed early, and of course got COVID after all of my family had COVID. So I'm just starting to feel more like myself and have been in my craft room this weekend. My voice still isn't normal though, so I apologize if it's hard to hear me. So today I am using the Regency Park Suite Collection, which it's actually made up of two different bundles. So there's your first bundle, which is a floral with a punch, and I love a punch, so we're going to use that today. And then there's also Sentimental Park, which has some really pretty die cut pieces. And the papers are gorgeous. They have florals on one side and then more of a neutral geometric like pattern on the back side. So highly recommend this suite. So this is one of the cards I made for an upcoming class, this fun fold. But you can see here, this die cut blue, balmy blue piece, the white piece tucks in. So it's really cute. And then I just kind of made a fun fold with this one for class. And then I made this one after, I forget, it's Kitchen Table Stamper. Her name is Marissa. And I loved kind of how she did this one, so I kind of copied her in that regard, and thought it would be cute to show you guys. I thought about doing that one for class, but it involves so many different ink pads. And you're going to see we're going to do kind of that two-step stamping. So again, the papers are gorgeous. And we are going to also be using the tailor-made tags. I'm using the thanks from this, and then we're going to use the floral images and leaves. And then this one, I know it's not Stampin' Up, but it's the deckled edge. I had bought this years ago and had it in my collection, and Stampin' Up does now have this. So if you're going to buy deckled edge, I obviously would recommend Stampin' Up through my site. Okay, so we are going to start with the easy card, and then we'll go to a more complex card. So here I have a navy blue card base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. Sorry, I had to think about that. And then this first layer, this is your 4 by 5.25 piece that's going to go on here. I was going to use the floral side, but I decided to go with the more neutral pattern. So I'm going to get this put down on my card base. I left my glue open last night, but I used a, you can use a pin drop, and I reopened it. So I leave it in this little like holder thing, and I like forget at the end of my crafting day to put the lid back on. Okay, and then here is a, I forget how much this is a 3.5 square piece of just basic white cardstock, and then I cut out 4 squares that are 1.5 inches. And what I'm going to do is kind of just leave a, let's make sure that's gonna, perfect, okay. So you want to just kind of leave an even border. This is a great way to get like lots of different cards made with your paper that you like so much by using these small pieces. Makes your paper last. Or if you have like scraps left over, this is kind of, again, a good way to use up a full sheet of paper. Okay. And what I'm going to do is use, do I want to wrap ribbon around this, or am I going to use my tag? I think I'm going to still do ribbon around it. This is what happens. I kind of change my mind as the card class goes on here. Then I'm going to use Scotch tape. This is, again, another savings technique that I use so that I am not wasting, you know, 2 extra inches of ribbon. And the Scotch tape just makes it also like easier to put down on your card. So I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. And these are just Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. They really are the best. There's a lot of different foam ones, but they're like almost too thick, I find. In Stampin' Up! They're like just the right thickness. Okay, so we're going to stick that on here. And then we're going to use Navy, Night of Navy ink, and we're going to type thanks. I love this font. It's so cute. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little piece of ribbon and then a piece of baker's twine. Be careful with your white baker's twine. I dropped it in black ink and ruined some of it. I'm hoping I can salvage it. And then I'm going to just loop this through. And then I'm going to use the baker's twine and I'm going to knot it and then tie a bow. And I'm going to use a double knot just in case. I don't want it coming apart. It's just a fun, different way to use ribbon. All right, let's bring in, oh my goodness, I tied that too big. It's gonna have no tail on that side. All right. And then I'm just gonna cut. And then you wanna, I usually do one angle one way, oops, and the other one. Okay, that is, there we go. And then I'm just gonna, I might actually put this on with dimensionals. You don't have to, but you could use tape runner or glue. Then I'm gonna go straight across. Kind of hang over. So you kind of don't see that ribbon that I put down, but I'm glad I have it there just in case. So I think it's adorable. Let me know what you guys think. So that's just using paper and a simple sentiment stamp. Not difficult. This one, we are going to, I didn't grab ribbon. Might use a piece of white ribbon. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this one right on our base. And again, this is a thick white card base, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and we're going to use this piece to do our stamping. So I'm first going to bring in my leaves. So this is two-step stamping. So you can see here, this image is going to have our detailed like outline. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just plopping it down on there. I'm not really worrying about centering it or anything like that. Then this piece is going to be our fill-in, and I'm using mint macaron. And then I'm just kind of like looking to make sure I've got my stamps going in the right orientation. That's what's great about these photopolymer. You can see through, so you can line up. Again, it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to have kind of that like watercolor image. Like you can see that leaf is a little bit off, but it's totally fine. Now for our flowers, we are going to use Mango Melody. And I'm going to use full strength for the outlined image. And then you also want to kind of make note of your punch and where, actually I need to cut this part off. So my punch, I want it, again, you always want your piece of paper bigger than your punch so that you can hold it and move it around. If you have a very narrow piece that just fits it, you can't line it up good. So you can see here my flowers go like this. They're already all connected in the stamp, which makes it like super easy, so they're the right distance. I'm sorry, when you stamp it, it's going to be like this. So make sure your stamped image matches up with how your punch is. And you can see I went full strength with my outlined edge. For my fill-in piece, I'm going to stamp off to get rid of some of that ink and then go to my flowers. And again, I can see through, so perfect. And then I'm going to kind of move my ink out of the way. While I am here though, I am going to stamp my thank you on this tag again, like we did for the other one. Okay, and then we are going to put this down on our Mango Melody cutout. Ah! And then we are going to use our punch to get our flowers. All right, and then I'm going to put this one on with just glue, and I'm going to kind of stick it, I guess, in like the middle here. There's really, again, no rhyme or reason, just kind of stick it where you want to. And then I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Where are you? Oh, I got 2, which is probably good for that one anyways. Oops, 2 again. It's kind of what happens when you start a new sheet of the minis. Okay, and I'm going to stick the little one over there. And I think I'm just going to go directly on. I'm not going to use dimensionals. I think I'm going to kind of go over to this side. And then again, we're going to use, I guess I really don't want to introduce a new color. So for this one, I probably cut it too big, but I don't like to struggle when I'm on camera. Like I'm doing now. All right. So I pulled the loop through, and then I'm going to pull my tails through. Oh wow, I don't know that I like this. It's like too far over, but you know what? It's too late. I gotta commit to it. All right, And I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Somebody else will probably love this card, so I don't know why I'm stressing. And I'm going to use Wink of Stella, which if you are not familiar with Wink of Stella, it is the best stuff. Okay. What the heck? There we go. That was weird. And it just brushes on, and it'll be hard to see in the video, but it's got like a hint of shimmer. So it's awesome stuff. And it dries very quickly. I am also going to put, let's see what embellishment we want to use. I'm going to use these. These are the adhesive backed Milky Dots. And I like to use my Take Your Pick tool that has this putty end for picking up the embellishments. I'm going to use the big one for inside the biggest flower, and then the smaller ones on the small flowers. Perfect. So there we are. 2 cards fairly quickly. Again, I had all the die cutting and cutting done, but in 20 minutes you can make 2 adorable thank you cards, and obviously you can easily change the sentiment to be, you know, birthday or thinking of you, sympathy, whatever. So again, thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time here, I'd love for you to like the video, and if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.